1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Here, coming to you today with a beginner lesson to the classic Stephen Foster song, Camptown Races in the key of G. I've got two solos worked up. The first one we're going to work on is just learning the absolute basic single note melody. This is really important to learn the foundation, the basic melody of the tune, so then when we build on top of that, we don't lose that foundational melody. I hear that a lot from beginner students of, okay, now I learned this more advanced bluegrass style solo, but I don't hear Camptown Races, or I don't hear the melody anymore. It's really important when you start adding bluegrass style ornaments that you don't lose the melody. That's a big part of bluegrass when you're playing a solo, is playing the melody. So that's what we're going to work on in this lesson. We're going to learn the basic melody first, and then for the second solo, we're going to work on adding some basic bluegrass ornaments, some basic bluegrass double stops. So playing two notes at the same time, adding some basic slides, adding some alternate picking, finding ways to spice up that single note melody is what we're going to work on for the second solo. Lastly, I'm going to break down all the backup I would do for this song. So how to do basic two-finger strumming chords for this song, how to do basic bluegrass chop chords. I'm going to break all that down as well. And if you're watching the preview of this lesson, you can head over to my website, mikeheadingmusic.com, grab the full-length lesson. You'll get access to watch all the videos, and you can download the tabs and the practice tracks. All right, here's Camptown Races in the key of G. All right, let's start breaking down this beginner lesson to Camptown Races in the key of G. We're going to start with the absolute basic melody before we build on top of that. So it's really important we get the basic melody down first. Then we know where we can add extra alternate picking, where we can add slides and hammer-ons without altering the melody too much. So really important, get the single note melody down first before you start adding extra ornaments to the solo. Okay, let's play the first four measures, then we'll start breaking it down. Here we go. Let's do that a few times. One more time, real slow. Alright, so we're going to start up on the 5th fret of the A string with our 3rd finger. And if you're in doubt, you can refer to the pick directions below the tab and the left-hand fingering. So the staple-looking symbols below the tab are the downstrokes. The V's are the ups. And I've got my recommended left-hand fingerings in the circles below the tab. So 1 is your index finger, 2 is your middle finger, 3 is your ring finger, and 4 is your pinky. So I'd recommend following the pick direction and my recommended left-hand fingerings on this lesson. It'll make it a lot easier. So we're going to start with our ring finger, our 3rd finger, up on the 5th fret of the A string. We're going to play that twice. There's no pickup for the basic melody. It just starts on measure 1. So we're going to play 4 downstrokes, the 5th fret on the A string twice, and then we're going to go down to the 2nd fret on the A string, and then back up to the 5th fret. And what you can practice there is keeping your 1st finger down, and then putting your 3rd finger back down. So you're basically taking your 3rd finger on and off. And I'm playing them with all downstrokes to help me not rush that. They're quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So not too hard. Let's do it one more time. Make sure you're hitting both pairs of strings with your right hand. Get plenty of tone out of your mandolin. And then we're going to play measure 2, open high E string, and then back to that 5th fret on the A, and then 2nd fret on the A. So we have, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that 2nd fret is a half note. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you're having trouble hearing how long that half note should be, you can play it as quarter notes to get the timing. and then take it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. What I recommend is just counting it out loud though. Let's play those first two measures together. Here we go. That's the Camptown Races Sing This Song. Remember, it's all melody. The other thing I want you to practice there is the angle of your left hand so you can hit that high E string while keeping your fingers down on the A string. If you're back too much like this, you're not going to be able to hit that open E string. That's what I want you to practice there, is hitting. See how I've got my fingers still on the A string? You can practice moving back and forth and just making sure both those notes can ring out. That's really good left hand angle practice. So let's do that again. Here we go. One more time. And then measure 3, we're going to play 2nd fret and then open on the A string. And that's a dotted half note, so that gets 1.5 the amount of a normal half note. So that'd be 3 beats total. So a dotted half note gets a half note plus half of a half note, which is a quarter note. So 3 beats total. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do that same melody again. 2, 3, 4. Again, if you're having trouble hearing how long that dotted half note, just play it as all quarter notes. And then take it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. Yeah, like I said, I'd recommend counting it out loud. If you can count it, you can play it. Okay, let's play that top line. Here we go. Now measure 5, we're going to go back to that opening melody line. So this song has a call and response. So measure 1 and 2 is the call. Now we have our response. Now we go back to our original call. So 5 and 6. So measures 5 and 6 are exactly the same as 1 and 2. Now we have our ending response, which is different. This is 7 and 8. Let me play open A string, 3rd fret on the A, 2nd fret on the A, open A, down to the 5th fret on the D string. So we have kind of walking down a scale. So let's do 5 through 8. Remember, it's the opening melody line. So even if you memorize measures 1 and 2, you'd actually have 50% of the verse of the basic melody down. So really important is that call and response kind of phrase that's very common in bluegrass and folk music. Fiddle tunes do that a lot. A song like Whiskey Before Breakfast, for example, you have a call, then you have a response. Now we have the same call, and then a different response. So if you can remember that call, remember you've got a big portion of the song already memorized. That's really important. Kind of spend your time wisely in picking those spots where you want to memorize it. Because if you can memorize, like I said, you've got 50% of that basic melody down. So measure 8 right here, 5th fret on the D string for a whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to let that ring out for 4 beats. Same thing, if you need to play 4 quarter notes to get the timing, that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's measures 1 through 8. That's the basic verse part to the basic melody. We used all downstrokes for that, okay? Now for measure 9, we're going to go into the chorus. And this is where we're going to introduce our first upstroke. So you'll see a V below the tab. So let me play measures 9 and 10, and then I'll start breaking it down. Okay, so really important here is getting the pick direction. We have a dotted quarter note. So remember, a dot adds, it's 1.5 the normal amount. So a quarter note plus an 1/8 note is 1.5 quarter notes. So a dotted quarter note would be 1, 2, and. So that's where we're playing on the up. On the and of beat 2, we have 1, 2, and. 1, 2, and. If I did it all as eighth notes, again, you could hear the timing. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and. So 1, 2, and. And then you're right here, 2nd fret on the A string, 5th fret on the A, and then 3rd fret on the high E with your 2nd finger. It's actually an arpeggio we're doing. So those are the notes that make up a G chord. So you don't have to memorize that, but it's good practice if you can remember those positions. You'll hear that a lot in different melodies. Those are also spots where you're going to find a lot of your melody notes. That's really good practice. Also, if you've done your G chop chord, that's kind of where you get those notes. I'm just going up and down those arpeggio notes. Those are the notes that make up a G chord. G, B, and D. You don't have to remember that, but it is helpful if you can. So let's do that a few times. Play it along with me or count it out loud. If you can count it, you can play it. 1 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 is a whole note, so 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Measure 11 and 12, same timing, a dotted quarter note, open E string, high E, and then up on the E, 3rd fret on the high E, open E, and then 5th fret on the A string for a quarter, or a whole note, a whole note. So we have same pick direction as 9 and 10, down, up, down, down, down. You know, practice the right hand if you're having trouble with the pick direction. Let's do 9 through 12. Here we go. This is the beginning of the chorus. And remember, count those whole notes carefully. 1 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Little faster.